Hey guys, wanted to go over a couple things with you real quick this morning. If I can get this camera to hold steady so I don't give you guys headaches. Um, Looking at the comments, there are a couple things that I just need to explain to you guys real quick. Uh, they Here in Texas, our stop and ID laws are pretty liberal. I mean, basically, you don't have to identify yourself unless you've been lawfully arrested. Now, the police have been trying to get that changed for quite some time, with no luck. So now they're using a workaround. It's based off of the Hibble versus Nevada decision. And basically, what that decision said was that the police had lawfully detained Hibble and that he was required to identify himself. Well, now, Nevada is a stop and ID state. And the decision specifically says that with regards to the state of Nevada statutes. But what they've done here is they've latched onto that, and basically what they're doing is if they have a complainant call in on you, then they say they have the right to identify who you are, whether you're breaking the law or not. Really what this is in response to is the Texas Open Carry Act. That act keeps them from identifying you simply because you're exercising your right to carry a firearm. And they're pissed off about that. They don't like that. So what we have done is the activists here in Texas, we got on a big conference call, and we have elected a person to get arrested for that and go to jail for that and fight that and set the case law for it. I will tell you, I am not that person. So I am not above pushing to the point of arrest. All right. But I have to be in a position where everything I do is defensible. I remember I'm in a county that is very, very pro law enforcement. Okay. The DAs here get convictions easily. Okay. So I'm going to use the Sheriff Academy incident the other day with Sergeant Cook as an example. Okay. A lot of you don't think I should have moved. All right. So think of how this plays out for a jury. Okay. Especially a jury of bootlickers. All right. Here you have a man that is in a questionable place, according to the police. Okay. I say there's nothing questionable about it, but the police say there is. All right. So they're going to take the police side on that. He's non-compliant, won't identify himself. Just basically giving the policeman a hard time. That poor policeman is getting a hard time because he's having to follow the law. All right. And yet, this guy that's giving the policeman a hard time, even though he didn't have to move, he moved anyway. Do you see how that plays for a jury? Because I had no doubt that one of two things was going to happen. Either old Jimmy Cook was going to come back out and get me himself once he realized that he had actually put me in a better position to film, or he was going to send somebody else out there. As it turned out, he sent somebody else. And again, standing there and arguing with Sergeant Young was pointless. Okay? Why push that to arrest? I found two tyrants already. Found two guys that were willing to harass a citizen on the street who was doing nothing wrong. Let's go see if they're sending me to a supervisor, to their supervisor. Why not go see what their supervisor is going to do? And then at that point, if their supervisor, treats me wrong, then I go back to what I was doing and push to the point of arrest. I can do that at any point. Okay. As it turned out, I found a professional law enforcement officer that knew what was going on and abided by the law. I am not above being arrested when it's appropriate, when I am in a position to 100% defend my actions in court. Okay? Everything I do, everything I say has to be defensible in court. Remember, it's on video. Um, and I have to be able to explain it to a jury in a fashion that gets them to see that, what I was doing was lawful and allowed. And in a county where they're bootlickers predominantly, that's going to be a tough sell. Okay. Uh, I know some of you still will say I shouldn't do whatever I do. And a lot of you have gotten the attitude that, I want the police to like me. That's not it. Okay? I don't care whether they like me or don't like me. And I can tell you there is a ton of people in the Precinct 8 Constables Department and the Harris County Sheriff's Department that despise me. They would love to have the opportunity to put a bullet in my head, and have expressed that. Um, uh, I'm not worried about them. Okay? Uh, and again, I'm not worried about being arrested. But there's a time and a place for it. And not every single time uh, is that time. You know, I'm not like Sheriff Ron Hickman and have people throwing $100,000 at me every time I make a phone call. Um, I'm a working guy, just like most of you, and if one of you wants to throw me $100,000, hey, I'll go get arrested every day. Okay, because I'm gonna. It's just for an instance, the shell arrest. Okay, I had to post bond on that. I had to pay for a lawyer on that. Lost my job because of that. Um, there's lost wages, that go with the lost job. So, just the bond and lawyers' fees and all that ran about $6,000. Now, I don't have $6,000 to just throw away like that. Okay, and you guys helped me out a lot. There was a lot of people that donated to the cause at that point to assist me, and I appreciate that. Um, bought me new cameras because those bastards stole my cameras. You guys were great, but I can't afford to do that every single day. No activist can. Like I said, if one of you guys wants to throw me $100,000, hey, uh, I'll go out every day and get arrested. Okay, because at that point I can afford to do it. Until then, I have to pick and choose, and what I will pick is going to be the what I view at that moment as the perfect, textbook example of they're screwing up. And I know a lot of you think that civil suits are quick and easy and all of that. Most lawyers won't touch it. Won't touch civil suits in this county because it's so hard to get a win, even at the federal level. Um, they they want a lot of money up front, and you can file it yourself. But the reality is that um, even just to file it, if you do it all yourself, it's like $400. All right, and there's no guarantee that you win anything back. Um, and that may be 5 years down the road before you see any of that back. Those the federal 1983 court cases are notorious for taking a long time to settle. Okay, so you know, again, I have to pick and choose the cases that I file, um, the ones that I know I can win. Now, if somebody knows a civil rights lawyer here in the Houston area that wants to work off a percentage or something, hey, tell them give me a call. But again, don't assume that just because you have the ability, because of some officer's misconduct, to file a civil suit, that you can actually afford to do it, and that you're going to have money in your pocket like right away. Now, I don't do this for the civil suits, okay? That's not what this is about. It's about affecting change. And there are a lot of ways to affect change. Taking money out of their pocket is one way, but just showing them to be wrong, publicly showing them to be wrong, a lot of times forces them to correct themselves. That's it, guys. It was one of the things I was going to cover with y'all real quick. Somebody asked me the other day about what I do when I'm out walking, for drinking. Um, I got this at Walmart, and it is camera terrorist approved. Uh, it has a top that screws off here. It has a belt hook, and then it has another top that screws off up here so that you can drink out of it when you're walking. But it keeps the drinks pretty cool, and I can clip it to my belt. Most of the time, it's behind me on my belt, so you don't see it. But yes, camera terrorist approved. Highly recommend them. Get them at Walmart. They're not too expensive, um, and I really like it. I actually have a couple of them, and they all say the same thing. That's it, guys. I just wanted y'all to understand that when you see me being a little flexible, that there's a reason for it. Everything I do, there's a reason for it. I know it looks like I'm just a random guy on the street, and that's not it. There's a lot of thought and planning that goes into this before I ever show up anywhere. Um, Looking at maps, there's tons of things that we do before we ever show up on site, and try and understand that. And there's more to come. We've just found a couple of locations that are going to be really interesting when we go and film them. There's one of them that it's kind of a risky thing, so we're going to double up for that. That'll be Philip and I. So that's it, guys. See you soon.